Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. If we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. I've got both of my dogs joining us today. We're doing a nice full body flexibility practice, so you're going to need just a little bit of space to move, and let's get started. So let's begin today in a nice comfy seat, and you can place your hands on your knees or in your lap. But taking an inhale and closing your eyes, lengthening your spine. With the exhale, just let your head tip over towards your right shoulder. Keep your chin shining forwards for a moment. Maybe lengthen your spine a little bit more. And then your chin's just going to tip down towards your shoulder. Feeling some extra love through the neck. Nice and slow, start to lift your chin back up. Keep your head tipping to the right. And then let an inhale help you bring your head back up through center. Maybe checking in with the spine again. Sit a little taller. Let your head fall over towards your left shoulder. Take a breath here. And then your chin can start to tip down. Notice the difference between when your head is just tipping and when your chin is tipping. And then using an inhale, start to lift your chin back up first. Slowly. And start to lift your head back up as well. Maybe even slower. Check in with your spine one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let your shoulders fall from your ears. Feel free to keep your eyes closed or you could open them up. We're going to interlace our fingers in front of our chest, pushing our palms away. So rounding through the back a little bit, bringing your shoulders forwards and tucking your chin towards your collarbone. Trying to open up between your shoulder blades, kind of squeeze your tummy in a little bit. And taking one more breath here, pushing those palms forwards, putting some effort into this. And then with an inhale, just relax. Come back into a nice long spine. Let your arms fall to your sides. Nice, you guys sitting tall again. Your hands are going to come to the floor behind you. Maybe the fingertips, or you could interlace your fingers behind your low back. But take an inhale and start to lift your chest up. Pull your shoulders back, lift your chin as high as feels good. Send your belly button forwards a little bit. Breathe. Awesome work, you guys. One more breath, lift your chest. And then let the inhale bring your shoulders forwards, your hands back to your knees or your lap, and a nice long spine. Awesome work. Our hands are going to find the floor beside us now. Maybe just the fingertips. With a big inhale, reach your right arm up and over. You can lean to the side as far as you'd like for a nice big side stretch or a little side stretch. Awesome work, you guys. Let a big inhale lift you back up through center. Soften your shoulders for a moment, and then big inhale again, reaching your left arm up and over. Feeling the length through the obliques. And let the big inhale bring you back up. Awesome work, you guys. If you want a shoulder roll, take a shoulder roll. But we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees into tabletop. Just for a moment, if you do want to rock your hips side to side a few times, go for it. We're going to be sliding our right leg forwards and setting up pigeon. So lay down your shin, keep your left leg behind you. You can bring your right heels close to your left hip as you'd like. Take a moment, kind of wiggle around a little bit so you feel balanced. Not leaning over to one side more than the other. You're right in the middle. Taking an inhale. Lift your chest. If you want to stay here. Or you can start to tip forwards. Maybe come onto your forearms. Maybe lay all the way down on your chest, but just let your upper body get heavier and heavier if you are folding forwards. Resisting the urge to push into your hands or into your arms to hold your chest up. Just let everything soften. Let gravity pull your chest down. And all the while feeling the nice love through that right leg. All the while just enjoying a few breaths here. Awesome work, you guys. One more breath, and then we can start to lift up. Let an inhale help you come back up. Plant your hands as gracefully as you can. Find your tabletop again. Maybe take a couple rocks side to side for your hips. Before we do switch sides, we're going to come into half a puppy dog. So from your tabletop, reach your right arm out, nice and long in front of you. Keep your left hand at your side for support and melt your chest down, keeping your hips high. You could rest your forehead or maybe your cheek, your right cheek. And again, just let gravity take your chest. Pull it down towards the ground. Staying for another breath before you start to move. And letting an inhale help you. Lift your chest back up. Find your tabletop, maybe a little shoulder roll. Or you can start to make your way into pigeon with your left leg going forwards. Taking your time. We're not here too long, but definitely take your time to find your center. Adjust your front leg, your shin. Maybe bring your heel closer to your right hip. And then with an inhale, you could lift your chest a little higher, sink into those hips. And you can melt it down if you feel like melting it down. And just diving straight into some nice breath here. Letting gravity pull the chest down. Checking in with the jaw. Maybe bringing some space between the teeth. Checking in with your arms and your shoulders. Are you pushing into the floor a little bit to hold your chest up? What happens when you just let gravity, let your shoulders soften? Even if it just lasts for a moment or two. And then letting an inhale, lift your chest back up, planting your hands and finding your tabletop. And taking a couple rocks to the hip side to side if you'd like. So good. Moving into our half puppy dog with our left arm reaching out in front. Let your right hand stay at your side for support. It can stop you from going too far, but you can also just completely surrender is the word I'm looking for. Surrender to the gravity. The word of the day, gravity. Pulling our chest, our bodies down. to the ground. Either resting your forehead if you're able, or maybe the left cheek this time. Keeping your hips nice and high. Staying for a breath before we start to move, and letting an inhale help you come back up into your tabletop, taking a shoulder roll if it feels good, a hip rock side to side, and then you can cross your ankles. We're going to sit down for a second, bringing your legs out in front, and then let's roll over onto our left side. And you can come down onto your forearm, or you can stay on your palm. Just bring your elbow underneath your shoulders best you can. And then our legs, you can have your knees bent, stacking on top of one another. We're gonna bring our right hand behind us and kind of twist. If you want more, you can keep your bottom leg out long and let the top knee get a little heavier. But let's try to bring our right hand behind us and gaze down towards the bottom of our mat. You might feel a nice side stretch here as well as a twist. You might get one more than the other. Just breathe. Nice work, you guys. Slowly start to kind of tip back over. Maybe you can come back through seated, or maybe you're laying on your back if you did come onto your forearm. But just take a second. We're going to switch sides right away here if you do want to rock it out a little bit. If you need to spin around, spin around. Decide if you want to be on your forearm or on your palm. On that right hip, maybe the knee's bent, that left hand behind you. Maybe the bottom leg extends out long and the top knee gets a little heavier. And just check in with where your wrist is or your elbow. Try to bring it under your shoulder. Look down towards the bottom of your mat maybe. Does this side feel a little different than the other side? Maybe, maybe not. Awesome work, you guys. Let's slowly start to come back. Maybe you're going to come back through that seated position again, or maybe you're laying on your back for a moment, but just rock it out a little. Give your knees a hug. And you can find your way into seated if you're not already there. And then bring the soles of your feet together and your knees out nice and wide. So I want you to place your hands on your knees if you can, and find a long spine. So maybe slide your feet a little further away, and you could also bring your hands to the floor behind you if that feels more supportive. But we're gonna take a twist from here, again from our butterfly. So with an inhale, lengthen, and the exhale can turn your chest over towards the right side. You can move your hands a little bit so you feel supported. And then just letting an inhale, bring your chest back through center. And exhale as you twist the other way. Sitting nice and tall. Breathing. And then let an inhale, bring your chest back to face the front. You can bring your hands to your ankles, or maybe back to your knees or your shins even. Lengthen your spine though, and take a tip forwards if you'd like to take a tip forwards. Getting into your hips one more time. Awesome work, you guys. Letting an inhale bring you back up. Your hands can find your knees. Bring them back together. Give yourself a little hug. And then find your way into a nice comfy seat. Awesome work today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, joining Gus and Bo as well. I hope that you have a good weekend. And until next time, namaste.